Hey, did your guides talk to my guides last night? Because I woke up with a message for you. Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I'm Leeor Alexandra. Welcome to the Baby Elephant community. On this channel, we talk about spirituality, law of attraction, self-development, and so much more. And today, we're going to be doing that so much more because what I'm going to be doing is we're going to have you choose a crystal from here and receive a divine channeled message from the Book of Light. Let me tell you a little bit about the Book of Light and why I'm doing all of this. First of all, I'm a really big fan of those pick a card, tarot card readings, and astrology readings. I'm a really big fan of those. I don't do those kinds of readings. But this morning, I woke up and I was like, oh, I love those things. Wait, I can do this with the Book of Light. Okay, and this is something that I've been doing something similar on Instagram, and I just thought, let's try it here on YouTube. Let's see if my community likes it. Let's see if you guys like it. And I got some messages from you. So let me tell you first of all about the Book of Light. The story about how I found the Book of Light is really cool. So this is a used book, and it was in my brother's room, in my little brother's room. And I saw it in his room, and I just saw like the script over here, and it looked like light language to me, and the book is called the Book of Light. So I thought it was cool, and I asked him if I can borrow it, and he was like, you know, I don't even remember ever getting this book. I don't think it's my book. I thought it was your book. So we don't know where the book came from, which is really cool also. I never looked at the cover ever again. I've had it for about 2 years now. I just kept it in my library. I'm a book hoarder, so I tend to do that. So I don't know what this book was about, never opened it before ever. The other day, me and my best friend are sitting here in my living room. I'm chilling, I'm on the futon over there. She's on the couch, and we're just talking, and suddenly I have this download where I'm like, Serpentine, I have a message for you, which, you know, she's used to things like that because I do weird things like that all the time, right? But I was kind of thrown off because I don't know where something took over, this intuition, this deep download. And I walked over to my bookcase right here, and I grabbed the Book of Light. And I looked at the cover. I thought that I was just going to grab this book that's about light language, open it to a random page, and maybe get a message for my best friend, right? But then I look at the cover of this page, and the cover says, the Book of Light, ask and heaven will answer. I had no idea that this is a book of divination. This is a book for answers, for messages. And something drove me to go grab it and give my friend this message. And then we opened it. I delivered her a message. It was exactly what she needed to hear that day. So she and I went back and forth. We each asked 2 questions for me, 2 questions for her. And we opened to a random page. We really tapped into that moment. And we got the exact answer that we needed for that day. The exact message curated for us. The messages that I received would have not made sense for her. The messages that she received did not make sense for me. The reason why we did 2 each is because, again, I had this intuitive feeling that that's it. That's all we should ask, just 2 questions. So I did this a couple of times on Instagram, and people just love the messages from this book. I love the messages from this book. The author says that these messages are channeled from Jesus Christ, which is cool. I'm Jewish, but I do believe that Jesus is an ascended master, and I'm very open to all spiritual beliefs and religions and everything. You guys know me by now. So I love the messages in this book. It has not failed me yet, and I wanted to share that with you. So the way that this is going to work is we're going to do a tiny, really quick, like 1 to 2 minute long meditation right now to drop into the field, to connect past the limitations of time and space so that it's almost like we are right in front of each other. Now, the way that channeled messages work, I'm recording this now, so you're gonna think that maybe the message isn't meant for you. The way that channeled messages work, the way that the divine works, is it transcends physicality. It transcends the limitations of the 3rd and 4th dimension, which is space and time, right? So the message that I'm about to channel, that we're about to grab from this book, from whatever crystal you pick that's in front of me right now, you're going to pick a crystal, and each crystal is going to correlate to one answer. It's meant for you, okay? You found this video for a reason. So just trust it and have some fun, all right? So first of all, let me show you these crystals. We have a lemon serpentine, we have a green aventurine, we have a hematite. This is either fluorite or green calcite, and then we have a goldstone. So whichever one of these resonates with you, you are going to choose. I'll let you look at it again after we do our meditation. So take a moment right now to just sit somewhere comfortable, all right? Close your eyes with me. Take a deep breath in. Hold it and breathe out slowly through the nose. Let's take 2 more breaths like that right now together. And now, keeping your eyes closed, I just want you to think about where you are right now in your life, how you're feeling. How are you feeling today? Checking in with yourself. And now, if you have an intention that you want to set, or if you have a question that you've been meaning to ask and looking for a response, right now, ask your guides to connect with me and to deliver for you the exact message that you need to hear. Take another deep breath in. If you don't have a question, just be open. Claim and proclaim that you are open to receive a message that is for your highest well-being now. All right. Allow yourself to smile and come back. You can open your eyes. And now that we are connected past time and space, I want you to look at these crystals and see which one resonates with you. Is it the Serpentine, the green Aventurine, the Hematite, the Fluorite, or the Goldstone? And now I'm going to have the times laid out here for these crystals, and you can also look in the description below for the timestamp. Fast forward to the timestamp for your reading for whichever one you chose. Okay? Let's begin. So first off, we have the Serpentine, the lemon Serpentine. Some people think it's lemon jade. If this was the one that you chose, your reading begins now. You have longed for things since you were a child. When you were little, you wanted to have lots of friends. You didn't want to go to school, and you didn't want the teachers to hassle you. As a teenager, you wanted the person you fell in love with to love you back. You wanted to be free, to have your own space, and to have your parents not hassle you so much. Then, as an adult, you wanted a good job, you wanted money, and to have your boss not hassle you too much. As life advances, I become more aware of how much you crave things. You want to be known, you want to be different. You want people to accept you and to praise you. And you believe this happens only to people who have power. Therefore, you want power. There's something I need to tell you. Everything you aim for in this lifetime, everything your ego desires, serves to make you feel secure at a subconscious level. And why do you wish to feel secure? Because you cannot bear to feel insecure. It is too distressing and too painful. And why do people react so negatively to insecurity? Because they carry memories from past lives. The person who wishes to have power in this lifetime does so because he or she carries the memory of having had power in another lifetime. And this power made them feel secure. Or they carry a memory of not having had any power at all, which would have made life very difficult. When someone feels insecure in this lifetime, he immediately remembers at a subconscious level the life in which he used power to mask his insecurity. As a result, he pursues more power as a way of covering up his insecurity. I have some bad news. Since we are speaking of memory, no matter how much power people obtain in this lifetime, they will never be satisfied. Why? Because it is that other power they pursue, the power they had in that other lifetime. And their dissatisfaction keeps growing. And the more they pursue power, the more dissatisfied they feel, because this is not the power that they seek. People come into this lifetime specifically to relinquish that power. They come to let go of that memory, to harmonize. What they had too much of in another lifetime will be harmonized in this lifetime in the form of restriction. The more someone pursues power, the more dissatisfied he will feel, and the greater the state of powerlessness he will attract. This is the law of nature. When people accept all these experiences of powerlessness, regardless of how painful they are, the closer they will become to their essence, the closer they will become to their original energy, and the more secure they will feel. And so I think this is a lesson in surrendering and understanding that what it is that you desire and that feels so restricted, so far away from you, something that you may have had in another lifetime, and now you're longing for it because you feel that craving from this past lifetime. But you've learned what you needed to learn there, and now you're being harmonized in this lifetime, and you have other lessons, and you're going to have amazing things that you do desire in this lifetime that in the next lifetime you might not have. And so we have to be grateful and express gratitude for what we have in this lifetime, because we may have lacked it in another. If that resonates, please give this video a thumbs up and comment below. Let me know which one you chose and how you took that message, how you received that message. I'd love to hear. And now the next reading is for anybody who chose green Aventurine. All right, so let's take a deep breath. There's a difference between love and vulnerability. Love is a unique frequency of contentment, entrustment, and endowment. Love is an act of solidarity from one soul to another. It is when the heart chakras finally meet and fly toward the great heavens. It is the highest thing that exists. Love is the highest pattern of vibrational frequency that any human being can desire. Vulnerability is the opposite of resistance. To allow yourself to be vulnerable is to choose to switch off. It is to let go of control. It is to accept heaven's directive within your life as well as in your emotions. To allow yourself to be vulnerable is to let yourself go with the current, without fear or resistance, simply because that is how it should be. Simply because to let go of all control is, in effect, the only way you allow us to guide your life, to give you sound advice, which is then expressed through your intuition. I can speak to, allow myself to be heard by, only those who are vulnerable. I can communicate only with those who renounce their ego and do not need to know everything. I am the one who knows everything. And why am I sending you a message about the difference between love and vulnerability? The answer is simple. Unless you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you will never love. If you do not allow yourself to feel the flow of your emotions, if you do not allow yourself to experience pain when it comes, if you do not allow yourself to yield to pain when it comes, then, as I have said before, you will never be able to give yourself over to that emotion that causes the greatest pain, which is love. And you will be ready to entrust yourself unconditionally to love only when you have acknowledged that you must accept pain when it emerges. When you have understood that for things to be good, you must go through moments of pain. And when you have completely accepted that everything is duality and that you need to harmonize and accept both sides, each in its own time. So this is a really good lesson about accepting and understanding the contractions and expansions of humanity. So we go through these times in our lives where we contract, where things feel small and stagnant and dark. But on the other side of those contractions is the expansion, where we get bigger, our consciousness expands, our vibration raises, and life becomes more beautiful and more meaningful. The meaning continues to unfold through the contractions and the expansions, right? So allow yourself to be vulnerable, feel the pain and the contraction to feel greater love, to allow yourself and to open the door to greater love. Our next stone is the Hematite. If you chose this one, take a deep breath, and your reading begins now. Whenever the universe creates loss, whether it is economic loss, material loss, physical or emotional loss, it is actually offering you something, a connection with heaven, so that you may understand why you had to attract this loss and what type of energy you are emanating that results in loss. Second, it offers you the chance to connect with your emotions. Spiritually, a loss signifies suffering, not anger. And when you attract loss, You should simply cry over it, grieve for what you have lost. Then let it go, with suffering, with pain, but let it go. The pain of detachment will increase your sensitivity, make you feel more connected to your emotions. It will make you feel more fragile and on edge, more thin-skinned, as the saying goes. It will heighten your sensitivity, and heightened sensitivity is a gift. To sum it up, you attract loss so that you can become more sensitive, more fragile, and more intuitive, and so that you may use this gift. From this, we can deduce that the universe reharmonizes only that which is not in harmony. And when it sends you loss as a way of making you more sensitive, it is because you are emanating the opposite of this. It is likely that you are emanating total disconnection, being defensive and irrational, and trying to prove that you are strong. All these things are incompatible with a spiritual being. A piece of advice: if you are able to remain sensitive and fragile, intuitive and connected, if you can hold on to this gift, the universe will no longer need to reharmonize anything and will never again send you loss. Do you want to give it a try? So sometimes we try to have everything under control. We try to be so on top of everything, so strong and so put together. And even when we're at our strongest and everything, our routine is good, our relationships are good, everything is good, we sometimes will still experience a loss. And that's because there's something that needs to happen within us to get us where we want to be. So I always say this when we're trying to manifest, when we are manifesting, when we're here, we're at point A and we want to get to point B. Sometimes, oftentimes, most times, the journey is like this, right? It's not a straight linear journey. There's ups and downs. And in those lows, we're going to lose things that is going to create a sense of loss of ego in us as well, making us more vulnerable, making us more sensitive to other people and to our own gifts. So even the losses, even the challenges are blessings. We have to remember that. If that resonated, please give this video a thumbs up and comment below. Let me know how you received this message and what it means for you. Now, if you chose the fluorite, this next message is for you. So take a deep breath in. When we stop focusing on work, family, friends, material possessions, the person I wanted to be but never was, and the person that I strive to be, when we remove all these focal points from our life, what is left? If today you were to stop caring for others, whether they are relatives, friends, or those in positions of power, where would your consciousness go? Where would your convictions lie? If you had nothing that worried you, no money, no goals or objectives, what would be left? Your inner light would be left. Your essence would be left. Your deepest vibration. This vibration that comes from the self would be stronger or weaker depending on the number of times you stripped yourself of everything and how often you had sought it out. The strength of this vibration would be determined by how often you were distracted and by the number of things, often of no importance whatsoever, you found to occupy yourself with. This vibration is standing by to save your life and to make sure you fulfill your purpose here. This vibration needs to be cherished, fed, and trained so that it can shine clearly and steadily and consolidate this incarnation. If the things you do not make your light shine, they will neither move forward nor be resolved. First and foremost, before others, before the great love of your life, before your children and your parents, before your friends and your coworkers, before everything you need to do, even before survival, there is your light. That is where you are. The rest will then appear under the sign of abundance, embracing everything slowly and passionately. Learn how to make your light shine. Learn how to do this and you will be initiated. And so, often we identify with all the materiality and all the things, all the distractions that go through our minds all day long, right? All the to-do list, the goals, I gotta get this done, I gotta get that done, I have to connect with this person, I have to do this with this person. It's just go, 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 hustle, 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 get things off a list. But where are you? Where are you in this? Is it your body doing these tasks, living out day to night without any consciousness, without awareness? Or is it your soul, your spirit, consciously operating in this life, being yourself, being your light, and recognizing, yeah, there's this to-do list that I have to do, but what's most important is my light, and connecting with that light, connecting with that inner light, and allowing it to shine throughout anything that you have to do, the mundane tasks, the banal tasks, and the divine things, right? If this message resonated with you, I'd love to know how you received it. Let me know in the comments below. So now, if you chose the Goldstone, it's your turn to receive your message. Take a deep breath in. Forgiveness. We still need to forgive. There is still a need for forgiveness. But forgiveness is no small matter. To forgive is crucial. It is awkward. It is difficult. And it is indestructible. Forgiveness requires understanding. To forgive, you need to understand both sides. And you have to forgive both sides. You cannot forgive others unless you can forgive yourself. And no one forgives himself unless he feels he has been forgiven by me, by God. Only someone who has experienced the powerful and liberating feeling of forgiveness, only someone who uses heaven to free himself from guilt, is able to forgive himself and then go on to forgive others. All the rest is make-believe. You may think you have forgiven. You may even act as if you have forgiven. You may even openly say that you have forgiven, but until you have freed yourself from guilt by virtue of heaven, until you have completely forgiven yourself and understood that everything that has been done to you or that you have done is part of the plan, that intelligent and sacred plan that your life is comprised of, if all these factors do not come together, then how are you able to forgive anyone? How can you relieve someone of their guilt? The person who forgives, who knows how to come up to heaven to receive forgiveness, who is not always depriving himself of things because he believes he does not deserve them or should not accept them, who can feel deep down in his heart the energy of unconditional love in which I love you for who you are, for everything you have done, and for everything that has been done to you. I love your soul. The person who is able to reach this point of evolution will know how to love a soul that is not his own. He will know how to forgive and how to love unconditionally. Love not only who that person is, but above all, who that person has chosen to be. For you can forgive someone only when you are able to love the choices he has made without judgment. As you can see, forgiveness is not the beginning of the process. Forgiveness is the end. That's such a beautiful message about how to forgive and to forgive and forgiving. Often, we don't get the opportunity to have a conversation with somebody who has hurt us and to forgive them, right? And to choose to forgive them. They don't even give us the opportunity to choose to forgive them. And yet we still have to forgive them because we have to liberate ourselves from that guilt and from that shame and from that grudge, from that heaviness and density that we feel because of this other person, because of how they have harmed us, how they have slighted us. I want you to realize right now that you can liberate yourself from this, and you do not need this person to apologize. You do not need them to do anything. You don't need that closure. You don't need anything from this other person. You have to be the forgiver. You have to decide to step into the forgiver role, because forgiveness frees the forgiver. The person who has not forgiven is still shackled by this grudge, by this pain. So forgiving other people is freeing yourself, whether they deserve it or not. And then forgiving yourself is the most important thing of all, because we all make mistakes. We all do things that we're not proud of, that we're not happy with. But if we continue to punish ourselves, humans are the only animals that continuously punish ourselves for something that has happened in the past. We're just going to never learn from it and never transcend and never become people who can help the world be a better place. We can never show up better in our relationships. We can never do better because we're stuck in this cycle of beating ourselves up and torturing ourselves over something that we have to forgive ourselves for. You deserve forgiveness. You are worthy of forgiveness. That is it for today's readings. I hope that resonated. I hope that helped. I'd love to know which reading was for you. Just let me know in the comments below with which crystal, whether it was the yellow serpentine, the green aventurine, the hematite, the fluorite, or the goldstone, and how you received it and how you're going to apply that in your own life. I'd love to know if you like this kind of video, if you want more of them. It was really fun for me. I was really excited to record this. I know it's different from what I usually do, but if you did like it and if you want more, please give this video a thumbs up. It will really help the channel, and I will talk to you in the comments below. Thank you for spending some time with me. I love you. Until next time, keep your vibrations way, way, way up. Bye.